What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Strictly Casual. We have finally got the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi and under the belt. We watched them the last couple nights, and
Mhm.
we're not doing our usual reaction videos that we do the night of, so we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to react, or not react, we're going to discuss and kind of break down each episode and just theorize what's going to happen next, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. We have posted notes of all sorts of stuff we're going to talk about. I can't wait. We're going to start off with part one. Right, part
Yeah.
one. Right off
Let's
the
do it.
bat, tell me how you like the introduction to the episode and like getting into part one of Obi-Wan.
I'm gonna tell you, as soon as they showed Order 66, I knew we're in for something special, right? We see the little kids, and instantly I was thinking, oh no, are we gonna see
Yeah.
Anakin's POV, right? I think we're all
Oh
thinking the same
God.
thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just another cool angle. I think seeing Order 66 never gets old, right? It doesn't matter
It
what
doesn't.
angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have this Jedi sacrificing herself, protecting these kids, and I actually have a little anecdote about these kids. But before I get into that,
Yeah.
what did you think of the opening?
Good, dude. I found myself like kind of emotional. Not gonna lie, at the
Mhm.
beginning of this, just like I was like, okay, let's do this. Like, even though I know if you've listened to Strictly Casual stuff before, like I've been a little like cautious about this show because I didn't love like Boba Fett and stuff like that, but I love Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? And so I'm hoping for the best for this show, but I'm going into this like I don't know what exactly I'm to expect here. But dude, I don't know. They hit you with that like 4-minute recap of the prequels, and then you jump
Yeah.
in with Order
Mhm.
66, and the music just swells up. Like, it was such a great intro to me.
Yeah,
And yeah,
very emotional. And so I guess I'll get into my first kind of big point is I think the third sister is one of these kids from Order 66. Like, I think the reason why
oh,
she's so angry at Obi-Wan and that why she wants him is because, and I saw other people posting about this. This is an original, but I definitely 100% agree that she was one of these kids here looking at her master and also was like, Obi-Wan left us. Where is he at? You know? And now she's
mm.
like, I'm dark side, I don't care. And now she's a, Inquisitor.
That
But
would be a great reason. That would be a
yeah,
great reason because
so
that is something that we don't know for the first 2 parts of this is what Reva's reasoning because she has some sort of personal attachment to getting Obi-Wan, right?
yeah.
More than
Mhm.
the Grand Inquisitor does, more than just killing all the Jedi. She has something else she wants to gain from this, and I really like that part of the story. I think that's very strong, like very, very
Yeah,
strong part of the story.
absolutely.
Uh, into episode one. I really loved the Inquisitors' entrance, like
Hmm.
them walking in, the explanation of what the Inquisitors are without being like too like, oh, I'm an Inquisitor. Here's what I do. But like they have that like real world example where it's Benny Safdie. Okay, I had no
Yeah.
idea Benny Safdie was going to be in this show, and Reva throws a knife and it, ding, it like sticks right here because
Hmm.
Benny Safdie's like using the Force to like do it, and they find out. I don't know. It's
No,
so
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
man.
It's a good introduction. I think I was expecting Obi-Wan for some reason, but as soon as I saw another Jedi, I'm like, oh shoot, there's probably like, maybe a
A
couple
lot in
hundred
hiding.
Jedi that are out there kind of
Yeah,
just hiding in the world. And I'm like, man, I feel bad for these guys. Like they're being hunted and they're just so,
yeah,
I wouldn't say innocent, but it's like, dude, these guys are like, man, they're really just being hunted by SEALs, SEAL Team
totally.
6. But yeah, it's pretty scary. My second point is yeah, Obi-Wan leaving to go, skipping through all the way toward
I
the.
got a couple things before
Oh,
we
you
get to
got
the
okay,
very
okay.
end of the episode
Yeah,
if
my
we
stuff was
want. But
all random all over the place. What do you got?
um
Sorry.
okay, so War Order, my favorite scene of
Hmm.
episode 1. Favorite scene is at night when after Obi-Wan leaves the toy for Luke and he's heading back to his place. It's nighttime. It's around
Hmm.
22 minutes into the episode.
Hmm.
Um and he has the conversation. I don't know what Benny Safdie's Jedi name is or his
Hmm.
regular name in this at all, but he talks to Obi-Wan like Obi-Wan, like he shows him the lightsaber. He says all this. I'm trying to think of the exact line that he says, but
They're
at
hurting
the
me. You
end,
have
he's
to
like,
help me. I got one line right there. I see you.
"You're the greatest Jedi." If I could find closed captioning, that
Yeah.
would help me.
Mhm. You were once a great Jedi. I see that
You're
one.
once
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
Jedi. What is Obi-Wan's response to that? It's you're once a
Um,
great Jedi. Dang, I forget
he's
exactly what he
silent.
said.
Yeah. I don't want to play it because
That's fine. I understand.
I'm trying to get it. We lost. Yeah. He's like, the battle's over. We lost. What about the people that need us? What about the fight? There's a lot of that stuff.
I forget the
Uh,
exact line, but anyways, I think it's one of the most powerful scenes in here because it really shows like to me, it's very much The Last Jedi. And I know it's like, oh, The
yeah.
Last Jedi. This is what Luke went through. This is what
Hmm.
Luke went through years and years after. Is like, he feels like he's not lost connection with the Force, but kind of like fallen off of that a little
Hmm.
bit. It's the same with Obi-Wan. It's been 10 years since he's done everything with the Force. He's just trying to live. He's just trying to live now, you
Yeah,
know?
survive. Yeah, it's very sad, and that leads me kind of to my next point now is why I understand the protection of Luke, but also why the incessant need to say, hey, is he showing? He needs to be trained. Like, it's kind of weird because if he has such a gloom outlook on life and he's ready, he's like, we lost, the battle's over. Like, just forget about it. Hide yourself as a Jedi. I
Yeah,
wonder what he's thinking. Like, if I can train Luke, maybe something will happen.
totally.
Like, maybe he's still holding out hope for this kid, or he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just stick to my own ways because that's kind of
Well,
just
it's
who I
like,
am. But
and there you go too. It's the parallel between Luke and Episode 8 also, because it's like somebody's relying on Luke to be this figure still, this
hmm
figure like
yeah.
hope and stuff like that. And it's the same way in this. It's like Obi-Wan is like Uncle Owen, not necessarily. He doesn't really believe in Obi-Wan because he believes it,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
He's like, your fault. It's like, dude, you look at what you did with Anakin. Like, he's dead.
Right.
Everyone thinks Anakin's dead. And it's like,
But
you
like this
failed, you know?
Jedi's
Yeah.
looking up to him. We don't know Reva's backstory yet of
Mhm.
why she's kind of going after him, but I don't know, dude. There's like this that's the strongest part to me about the whole show.
Yeah.
And I feel like the magic, I was feeling very emotional and the magic was there, baby, up until past the 22-minute mark at this scene with Benny Safdie.
Mhm.
And then we got to Naboo. I want to talk a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
about Naboo
Hmm.
too. Um, I was unaware that we were going to get child Leia in this. That was a great surprise.
Me
Great
too.
surprise.
100% had no idea.
I think the little girl that plays Leia is great. She's kind of a good balance between, you know, Padme and Leia, I would
Yeah,
say.
Padme, Leia, and even
Or
Anakin.
well, she
Like,
is Leia,
she
but
she
yeah,
has she has a bit of everything, and they were saying like she has the sass, she has the kind of charm as Leia, and she's a good like you could see her growing up to
yeah,
being Leia, and that's so good on this little actress. Her name is Vivian Blair. What a kudos to her because she's doing such a fantastic job, and it's like
yeah. And I just want to say right now, I think every time a child actor is introduced into Star Wars, there's a certain side of the internet that just gets upset, and to those
yeah,
people, kick rocks, bro. Kick
yeah,
rocks. Because at the
exactly,
end of the day, like you're gonna put these guys into like years of therapy if
exactly,
you are
yeah,
vocal about that all the time. And you know what? This is just it's how it is. This is Leia.
yeah,
This is a character. Like just take it for as it is. Take it as
hundred
it is.
percent.
She's part of the story. Enjoy it. Okay. I don't
Mhm.
want every episode to be like, oh, there's too much young Leia in this episode. There's too much young Luke, child actor, blah blah blah. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Take
Okay.
it in, you know what I mean? Because it's characters
Yeah.
that we've loved and we've grown up with, and it's just expanding on their lives, you know?
I
At
was
this,
I was a little skeptical. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little skeptical when I saw her. I was
Mhm.
like, okay, this could be like an annoying sidekick character, straight up. But I didn't really get that sense in this. She wasn't annoying to me. I
No,
was like, okay, this is cool.
she held her own against Ewan McGregor, and I'm like, yep, she's a main character just like him, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
ready
yeah.
to watch her. But yeah, the crazy thing, shoot, I think I lost my train of thought. Okay, but moving on here, I don't know if this is, tell me again if this is too far of a jump. So we basically, the little Leia, she gets kidnapped, right? Is that
She does
episode?
get kidnapped.
Yeah, she gets
Yeah, that's at the
kidnapped.
very end of the episode. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So am I thinking of when? Oh, you know what? When Han leaves. Oh no, no, sorry, Han. Sorry, Obi-Wan. Okay, so Bail Organa, of course, returns. Bail Organa, the
Yeah.
father. What a great
Mhm.
actor. And he
Oh, he's
basically
incredible.
he goes to Obi-Wan and he says, "Hey, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. We need your help."
Yeah,
You
dead
know what I
ass.
mean? Like you're the only one that I would trust with my daughter, and it's like calling back
Here's a
to the
question
scenes.
I
Let's hear
got
it.
for you. So do you think, like in episode 4, when Leia leaves the message, says, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope, the whole dealio.
Uh-huh.
She's introduced in the second episode. I know we're kind of skipping ahead, but that's okay. It's
Yeah,
like
okay, yeah.
just train of thought thing.
Mhm.
But in this second episode, Obi-Wan Kenobi introduces himself to Leia as Ben, and
Yeah.
then as Obi-Wan Kenobi. So like, this has to be building their relationship, giving a reason why she would call on Obi-Wan as their only
Yeah.
hope, not just her parents telling her, like Bail telling her, like, oh, you have to contact Obi-Wan or something like that.
No,
Like,
100%. Because I think I saw somebody point out that when she said, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi," and then when
yeah,
Luke saves her on the Death Star, he's like, "Hey, Ben Kenobi's here," and she's like, "Ben Kenobi." So I think she knows him as both names, and
she
that
has to.
yeah, the
Yeah,
relationship that they're growing here is probably like, "Hey, I trust you with my life because you saved me as a kid," and
right.
I think it's like you helped my father in Clone Wars. Maybe that's just talking about like, "Hey, Obi-Wan, I know we knew each other briefly, but it's probably gonna be
Yeah,
brief for the show." But it adds to the trust, I think
yeah.
100%. It works.
Interesting.
It works, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But that she's also like, hey, I know you were with my father during the Clone Wars, but also I trust you because I remember you when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's so cool.
I want to put out another scene too before we get to
Okay.
the end of
Mm-hmm.
part one. But this is the scene where the Inquisitors line up all like a bunch of people in the town in Tatooine,
Mm-hmm.
and Uncle Owen's there, and they're asking about Jedi. And this is right
Mm-hmm.
before we see Benny Safdie strung up, killed, that
Yeah,
kind of deal.
yeah. And
Or maybe that was
also,
at the end of the episode or something
maybe
like that.
if I want to say if it wasn't Disney Plus, they would have shown him hung. I want to say that he was like held
You
up by
think
his
so?
shoulders. But I think in a
Yeah.
film they would have just done. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if
Well,
that's like a radar thing, but
they got a little. I mean,
that's pretty.
Reva straight up cuts off someone's hand
Oh
in the
yeah,
lineup thing, and I was like, these
it's
guys are
brutal.
intense.
Yeah.
Reva's great. Reva's great. I think she's a great actress.
Really, dude. I mean, like I like her, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just like another Disney Plus villain. I don't know what Vin's gonna think about it. And you like her?
Okay. I like her because I've
I'm
seen
surprised.
her.
I'm surprised.
She was a great actress in Queen's Gambit. I really liked her in that.
Oh,
And so I was like, I was already kind of excited for her. I know she's got the chops. I was like, she could bring something to
yeah.
Star
Okay.
Wars. And I think based on what we've seen so far, like, I think her motivation could be really good by the end of it, which is a
Yeah.
problem for like Disney Plus villains is
Uh-huh.
like, what the hell is your motivation? This could be like the best motivation. I don't know.
Honestly,
Especially
yeah, for anybody trying to be like, I want to prove to Vader, right? It's like that's all you need as a dark side user, you know, trying to prove yourself. It's like Vader, look at I
Yeah.
brought you Obi-Wan, dude. You know, like all this stuff. The anger that fuels you is like, yes, this is great. She's out of control. She's losing herself. And I think it was
Yeah.
the ending scene of the second episode where she's yelling at Obi-Wan. I think that's where I
Great.
was like, yes, this is it. She's like, we'll find you. It was like,
I know.
great.
Every time I watch this, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a soundbite used in a montage in 5 years. Like that's what I'm listening for in this. And
Yep.
honestly, that scene with Benny Safdie with like, you were the greatest Jedi of all, like, you were the
Mhm.
greatest Jedi. Like that's gonna be a soundbite right there. Like there's
100%.
gonna be all sorts of ones when Rev is screaming at Obi-Wan in episode 2. Like,
Mhm.
oh, you gotta be joking me. I can't wait.
Yep.
I think those are all the big points I have about episode 1, except for I have another little gripe too, is the actual people, like the ragtag group that capture Leia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess this is a double-edged sword. One, they feel like characters you would meet at like the cantina for like a split second, and they
Yeah.
barely have any
Yeah.
screen time, but they're like a little laughable, like, okay, you're like a bad guy, I get it, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? But then they have like speaking lines in like the second episode, and I'm like, these guys are not good, like
Yeah.
not good actors, and like I don't understand. Like, I get it, it's like a ragtag group gonna steal Leia
Mhm.
for Reva. You
Just
find out,
expanding the funny part about Star Wars, you know what I mean? Like there's a really cool kind of 40s like World War II era vibe to Star Wars, but there's also like the
yeah,
silly like galactic colorful
yeah, like
side, and this is
when
like the
they're
blend. It's weird. It's
when
interesting.
they're chasing Leia in the forest and she like jukes one of them out, I'm like, okay, and the other one like runs into a tree. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I guess it's fine. They should have
Yeah.
just captured her right away. The chase scene was ridiculous. They should have just she
Yeah.
should have just went around a corner. They should have just bagged her.
You
Like
see a
you
little
didn't.
kid running, and then it's like, okay, they got
Boom.
her, and she's like, nope, she's still running. Like
Yeah,
you
you
just
don't know
grab
who
her.
takes her. Yeah, they bag her, grab her, and you're like, oh my god, what the hell just happened to Leia? Cut the episode or something like that. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't need the ridiculous chase through the forest. I was like, what the
Mhm.
heck is going on? But I really like seeing Obi-Wan in his like natural, like he's been for 10 years like cutting meat, cutting sushi in the
Oh
desert,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and it adds more weight to him leaving because I feel like my last part for this episode was when Bale shows up to him, right? He has
Yeah.
the cloak over his head, and instantly I was like, "Who is this? Is this Mace Windu?" I was like, "I don't know," but then he takes it off. It's just Bale, and I was like, "That's a funny
Yeah.
reveal." But yeah, for him to be a hermit stuck there, what you got? What do you got?
No, it's just like I don't know, but in the little recap they showed at the beginning,
Huh?
they showed Mace Windu like 5 times in that recap,
Oh
and they
yeah,
had even a
Qui-Gon.
line about Mace Windu in there. They
Yeah,
said like Anakin's as
powerful.
Obi-Wan's as
Oh,
powerful as
as
Mace Windu, as
Windu,
wise
wise
as
as
Yoda.
yeah. That's crazy.
I was
Yeah.
like,
No,
we
Mace
could be-
Windu's coming back, and Qui-Gon, dude. 100% I'm calling it.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson's coming back. But yeah, so Obi-Wan is such in a sad state right now that he's like, I need to protect the boy, and it's almost like using that as an excuse because he's not the same Jedi he used to be. He's not the same person he used to be because he's on hiding, and he even loses the Force in a way, right? So for him to be like, okay, I need to protect the girl just as much as Luke, because I think everyone's putting all their cards on Luke. It's like they're forgetting about Leia. And finally,
Right.
Bale's like, hey, she's just as important as him, dude. And
Yeah,
it's like,
that was a good
finally,
scene.
I gotta go. So for him to make that decision to leave Tatooine and go is like great call. I mean, I know that's like literally the show, but it's like
Yeah.
cool. This is where I wanted to go, and I was not like expecting the story this way. So
Yeah,
I'm
me
I'm in
neither.
it. Good ending. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
was
good ending
excited.
that first episode. He gets his late lightsaber. He sees
Which
his
was a great scene.
Anakin's.
And Anakin's.
Oh my god, that's awesome. And yeah, and he has the saber on his belt and he's ready to go. And I'm like, yep,
Ah, he just
next
flashes that
episode.
baby real quick.
Yep.
And then we get into episode 2, Ryder.
Episode 2. Here we go. Here we go.
Which, overall, in my opinion, had way lower lows than the first episode.
Yeah, yeah. Way lower low. Wait.
I
Oh,
think this is
way
a
lower
worse,
lows.
lower
Sorry,
lows.
I
As
thought
in,
you
like,
meant
this
less
episode
lows.
is worse in a lot of ways, but it has a lot of high highs, like
A
really
lot
good
of
moments
highs.
also.
Yeah.
But that gap is way too big for me. Like we need to bring up those lows because there's a couple things in this episode that take me right out of Star Wars, just
Okay.
right out of Star
Okay,
Wars.
let's hear it.
And that number one, first of all, love. They're on Coruscant, right?
Yes.
I'm assuming. They
Yeah,
don't.
gotta talk about. Okay, so we gotta talk about real quick the cameo of Tamora Morrison. He comes back as a clone, and I'm like,
I
oh, you
love
gotta
that.
be kidding me! That's amazing. He's a veteran from the war. He has no purpose. He's like, I need you to help me out. And then people are also like, yo, he might have been friends with someone on the 501st, which means he's looking at the friend of his commanding officer Rex. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy.
It totally could be. I like how he's in the armor from 10 years ago, like
Dude,
when the switch happened with Order 66. Like maybe he never became a stormtrooper clone, like not a clone trooper.
Yeah, I love how they show him, and then like 10 seconds later, they show troopers showing up for like the first time ever in the show, and they're like, yeah, this is the replacement. It's like, whoa, that's cool. You know,
it's pretty awesome. I like the idea of Obi-Wan and hiding in Coruscant. I think the stuff, like the conversation that he has with the pink-haired girl who's like, forget about it, like you're never gonna find her. I was like, oh, that's like
sad.
I don't know. It's good world building because like Coruscant's always like this corrupt place, even though it has like this one center of like the Jedi Temple and stuff like that. It's like it's still corruption all around, which is kind of crazy.
Gotta
and
get
then
to
we
Cameo. I know you got some stuff on Cameo, dude.
I was so taken out of Star Wars when Cameo came on screen. I will tell you right now.
Yeah. He's very jarring. He's very jarring because it's such a popular actor.
He plays himself, which is fine. Like I don't dislike Kumail at all, but like having him number one for like 30 seconds, you're like, okay, this guy's a Jedi and he's extorting people for the Force. Totally anti-Jedi. Like I'm not sure if I'm supposed to love this guy because of his weird charisma that he always has, or if I'm supposed to hate him. Then it goes on for like another 30 seconds. You're like, okay, I hate him. He can't be a Jedi. There's no way.
It's like, there's no way. It's not what a Jedi does.
And then Obi-Wan's watching him like. It just felt so weird. I don't like his character, and I don't like that he's in the majority of the episode. And I don't want him to come back. He's not. And I don't want to be. I feel like I'm being really negative towards it.
No, I don't think he's
really
coming back though.
It's so weak. It was so.
It
weak.
is interesting though because I think it's a very creative idea. Yes, in that hey, let's add more world building in that there are probably guys exploring the Jedi, but also it does feel a little interesting based on Kumail, great actor of course, but he's such a recognizable guy that it does take you out of it. But
it is the recognizable thing.
Yeah,
it totally is. Like I'm thinking of him cracking jokes in like some of the great movies he's been in.
I do want to see like what other things are there being exploitative. Like are there people posing as stormtroopers, or are there people that have fake lightsabers? Like stuff that seems so like special and so unique. Like how much of this stuff is out there? It's so regular that people are like, I have a light, and they're threatening people with sabers. You know what I mean? Like crazy stuff like that. Right. I don't know, but
the idea of his character is great, and I think that is great to me. I just seeing him in the role, I'm like, I don't know how to take this. I don't know how to take this.
Let's see. Moving on. Of course, we see the Breaking Bad version of.
Me too.
Of Ewan McGregor. He looks great.
Walter Kenobi.
It's cool to see him doing more like kind of fighting style in more of a defensive way. He's never really an offensive guy. And
which is awesome. He hurts his hand.
He hurts his hand. It's very like Nathan Drake Uncharted. Like I'm old. I'm not what I used to be. But he's never like fighting someone. He's using his defensive techniques. It's interesting to see somebody fight with no lightsaber, no guns, just kind of what do you got with your hand-to-hand combat skills, right?
Yeah.
And then then he gets the girl, and the relationship with them is just built upon more. But
The
we'll get into
relationship
that.
goes, but before we get into the
Yeah.
relationship, this is like the fourth moment that Reva and the Inquisitor are kind of like button heads a little bit.
Yeah.
Reva's
Yeah.
there. The Inquisitor's like, your punishment will be brought upon you later on, but for now, you're out of here. You've been replaced. Reva's like, no, I brought Obi-Wan here. Like, I'm taking him, like
Mhm.
that kind of thing. And the Grand Inquisitor's like, hell no, I'm not doing that. And all this kind of stuff. They just butt heads. They get all angry at each other. But you're like, there's a rift here. There's a rift here.
Yeah.
The one that replaces Reva walks away with them, and Reva's still there. They don't really do anything,
Mhm.
but like the tensions are super high. And then immediately after that,
It adds
they
to it though.
upload. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they upload the Obi-Wan, but
They
see,
John
this,
Wick him.
yeah,
They John Wick him.
John Wick, yeah, excommunicado. But see, this adds to my thing of like when the Grand Inquisitor is talking to her and saying, you're all the you have a stench to you. You're not one of us. It's like, yo, she's probably because she's a Jedi and she turned to them of anger.
But
you know what I mean?
Grand Inquisitor also was a Jedi before he was the Grand Inquisitor.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, maybe he says that out of because maybe that's why the rebuttal from her is like, well, it's probably just your failure, because probably he was successful as making himself dark side user.
Right.
And even though she's like dark side's like, you're still a Jedi, dude. Like you're good and maybe that'll be cool, kind of like Jedi Fallen Order. There's a switch for her, right? Maybe Reva has a forgiving moment. I don't know if that
It totally could be. Yeah.
it could happen like that, or it's like a death and she's out, but I don't know.
Well,
that would be kind of cool if she
I mean, I know we're skipping quite a bit here, but this is like Reva kills the Grand Inquisitor?
Yeah, that's kind of wild. There was that, and see, another thing people were talking about is like, what if this guy is just of the same species as the guy? What if he's not?
No.
Because isn't this Clone Wars or Rebels like they just like retconned all that stuff? You know what I mean? Isn't that because he's alive?
Not retcon.
By killing this guy, isn't this guy in Rebels? Right? Rebels takes place
Rebels
after
is
this.
before this. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it is
saw a
after. It is
timeline.
after.
So that's why I was like, well, this guy I know him from Rebels. And so I'm like, well, did they just retcon all this because this guy?
You're right. I didn't think about that.
But that's why people were saying.
No, they did not retcon. It's canon. It's canon.
Yeah, I know. I don't mean like actually, but I'm saying like it's like hypothetically. So like basically they're saying, yo, this guy is not the Grand Inquisitor that we know. It's like probably the same species, same guy.
No,
but just,
it is, dude. It has to be the Grand Inquisitor. Have we seen him? There's no way. Is this supposed to be the first time we meet the Grand Inquisitor then, like in the timeline?
I guess I think I would say so based on what Star Wars finally posted. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. Okay, well I guess
anybody correct us in the comments. Let us know if you know, because I don't know. I'll do some research and we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Wow. Okay. I for some reason in my mind I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess he's dead. Like that's fine.
Yeah. My next scene is when Obi-Wan uses the Force for the first time in the show to save little Leia. I think it's cool. Again, it's like this guy, he struggles to use the Force. He's not the same guy he used to be. And, it kind of adds into Leia how sassy she's being and saying, you're not a real Jedi, and runs away. And it's like, oh, that's great. How, her character. But when Obi-Wan tries to use the Force, it's so like beautiful and sad because you're like, man, this guy you remember him in Revenge of the Sith? He was so powerful doing stuff here and left and right. And you see him so like, I can't do it. It's
struggling.
Like, dude, he's like,
and she even
jokes.
This. Yeah, she jokes like float me. I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah. Make me float. It's like
make me float.
No, I can't just use the Force. But yeah, such a good moment.
I think Coruscant here, like after we get towards the end of the episode, everything starts to look a little the same. Like they're using the same set and moving it around a little bit. Like they have a couple wide shots when I don't know they're getting chased by the Inquisitor, like on the ground floor, not the rooftops. I was like.
This looks like
same area.
It's like, yo, block. let's fix the setup. Let's put the flat on the other side, and we'll turn it around.
But that kind of goes into also. I think this looks like there's a lot more practical things happening here than it looks like on the other Star Wars shows.
Yeah,
it does look a little more legit in a lot of ways. Even the sand stuff happening, like it's not all out of focus. Like you can tell we're on the soundstage, even though I'm sure we are on a soundstage for a lot of it.
They're
honing it in.
Absolutely. And then moving on toward, this doesn't have to be the last part, but when Reva finally confronts Obi-Wan in a little way, she says, "Hey, Anakin." Like this is kind of crazy.
This is the biggest part.
Anakin, she knows Anakin is Vader and people were like talking about like, yo, Vader would kill anyone that knows he's Anakin. So
that's a dead name.
I'm like, how does she know? And then also to kind of throw that at Obi-Wan, the shocking of like he's alive. Like that is so crazy that this is the first time he realizes he's still alive.
You might be right that she was like a Padawan at the time of Order 66,
Yeah,
as
'cause
in
she
like
might have known Anakin. She might
might
have
have known
saw him,
Anakin.
and then been
Yeah,
like, "Hey, I heard stories like he went bad," and then again adding into the failure. Like,
right.
who was his master? Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan left me. Obi-Wan failed Anakin. He failed me. And then it
Yeah.
just goes, watch, there's a confrontation. Obi-Wan's like, I'm sorry, Reva, what happened? You're like, you failed us, dude. Like, so pissed.
Yeah.
Like, so it could possibly happen. But yeah, of course,
I
the reveal was
I
crazy.
loved that scene.
Mhm.
That scene is awesome. I think it's great. The emotions are there. Obi-Wan, like Ewan McGregor's acting there is like you really feel like he doesn't know Anakin's alive. This is the first time he's figuring out
Yeah.
himself that
Yeah.
Anakin is alive in
And
10 years.
I want to ask you, so when you think he spoke those words, Anakin, do you think he was him just realizing, or do you think it was him using the Force in a way and communicating and felt him? And that's what Anakin felt it too, like Obi-Wan, like the
Kidding me?
connection.
Definitely
Yeah,
felt it.
yeah.
He
Like,
definitely felt
you
it.
know,
It's not just
they cut to
yeah.
Hayden in that back the tank, dude. Like, it's Hayden Christensen, all
Yeah.
scarred, and I want to see him more like this. Honestly, like, take off the suit. I want to see the emotion. I want to see him like 30, 10 years.
I
into
know it
Vader,
is kind of
you know what I
tough
mean?
because like as much as I want to see Hayden Christensen's emotion because that's like the best part of the prequels. People laugh at it like, oh,
Mhm.
it's ridiculous, and that what makes it so good. I love it. I love it, dude. Give
No,
me more
yeah.
Hayden Christensen. I would love to see him with no helmet, but
It has to be
uh,
tasteful. It can't be a lot
it's
like,
got to be tasteful
yeah.
because his
The point
character
is Vader. It's not really.
it has the helmet, and that's why it makes it such a big moment in episode.
Which makes me believe
Like
that we'll see him in Clone Wars flashbacks, baby. Because why would you? I mean,
I know.
maybe.
I'm really thinking. I think they could. Can you imagine a Clone Wars flashback scene? That would just be huge. I want to see General Kenobi armor so badly,
It
but
break
I
through
don't think we're
internet.
getting it.
You
I don't know.
don't?
I
Okay.
have I have a hunch we're not.
Okay. Okay. You know what I do think we're getting though? That's Cal Kestis, baby. It's Cal Kestis. You know why? I
Why?
don't know
Why
if
do you think
saw
that?
the tweets because they said the new game takes place 5 years after the first one, which means it's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, which means it lines up concurrently to the Obi-Wan show. It lines up.
Let me pitch you with a crazy idea right now.
Oh, okay.
One of the final
Ooh.
scenes.
Okay. Okay.
Darth Vader, because Darth Vader's not going to be the big bad guy in this. I don't think. I think he is, but like, there's
Not even like a third act kind of type
the
deal.
Inquisitors. I think the Inquisitors are going to be the main bad guys no matter what.
There will be a fight though. Maybe it stops Obi-Wan. Maybe they get in the way, right? Yeah, but not.
Because there's neither of them die. There's no consequence.
Mhm.
What are going to be the consequences in this fight? I don't know yet because we
Mhm.
haven't seen how the story's going to play out. But they'll figure that out and make it intense no matter what. Anyways, I'm sure that'll be a great fight. But the show is something with the Inquisitors because it's not like Obi-Wan even defeats the Inquisitors here. Like the Inquisitors keep going. They haunt Ezra and the whole gang in Rebels for a long time.
It's crazy.
So I don't know. That's the interesting part about this show. All the characters are really safe,
Yeah.
except for Reva. We don't know much about,
Mhm.
and so like we're gonna carry some weight there. Imagine one of the final scenes. We have Cal Kestis, Obi-Wan, and Mace Windu against the 3 Inquisitors.
Oh my! Look at
How cool
you
that would be,
talking like
bro.
No Way Home. What's
Oh
going
my
on?
God. That would be pretty awesome.
No, that would be insane. I would be 100% for that. I'd be screaming.
I mean, it couldn't be like Obi-Wan walking or Mace Windu walking out of the darkness saying like "I'm here." Like it wouldn't be that stupid thing, but like I don't know. I could see them running.
No, he
into
does
each
the
other.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Where's my ship? It's
Exactly,
like,
and it just comes out of the water.
yeah, then a portal opens and Cal Kestis is there. The ship door opens
Yeah.
up and he's there and he's like, "Hey, it's me, guys." What's that actor's name? I think it's like shoot, I went blank on his name, but
I don't
you
know.
him
I
all the
don't know
time.
it.
Yeah, but that would be cool. But yeah, Vader. I mean, my goodness, I feel like they felt each other, which just
Yeah.
adds so much weight that he's like Anakin, and he's like Obi-Wan. He feels him, you know.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
so cool. But that's it for me.
That's it for me too.
That's everything I got.
Um,
That's the show.
God, thank you guys so much for watching this. This was sweet. Let us know a little feedback on how we have our layout. We're gonna switch it for next week because this is like kind of a more last minute, less time to record it type dealio. But every week we'll do this after each episode. We're not gonna do it the night of. I know some of y'all are crazy watching at midnight, but I'll be fluttering my eyes, falling asleep at the end of this. So we're just gonna get it up when we get it up soon after the episode. But we appreciate you guys watching so much. If you're new to Strictly Casual, we do movies, pop culture, games, all that good stuff, TV. Subscribe down below. Love you guys. Ryder, any final thoughts for next week?
May the force be with you, and let's get excited for some more Vader. Here we go.
Let's go, baby. Appreciate you guys watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.